Hello, A Day with Caleb. We're back doing our biography series, this being the first video in that new series. And we all know who we're talking about. The man behind me. We'll just dive right into the life of Stan Lee. Stan Lee, born Stanley Martin Lieber, December 28, 1922, American comic book writer, editor, publisher, and producer. He went up through the family company Tom Lee Comics, which later became what we know today, Marvel Comics. He was the primary creative leader for 20 years. In this interview here, he talks about how the name changed from Tom Lee to Marvel.
I started with Marvel Comics when I was about 16 and a half. It was known as Timely Comics in those days. In fact, we didn't change the name to Marvel Comics until the very early 1960s, because at that time we had started an entire new type of stories of superheroes. And we thought, well, now that we're doing everything differently, we might as well get a different name.
As to the characters created, we'll go back to another video.
The brains and the creativity of one man lie behind all these characters and more. The Fantastic Four, the Hulk, Spider-Man, Thor, Doctor Strange, the X-Men, the Avengers, Daredevil, Nick Fury, the Silver Surfer. If you don't know them, then your kids do. And if your kids don't know them, and I wonder if they're really learning about the world as they ought to learn about it. Would you welcome, please, a superhero of the comic book business from Marvel Comics, Stan Lee.
One specific character, and my all-time favorite character, Spider-Man, Stan Lee goes into a little more detail in how he came about creating Spider-Man.
So I did Spider-Man. And when you do a superhero strip, the first thing you have to think of is what superpower will he have? And I was trying to think of a new power. I mean, we already had the Thing, who was the strongest guy, and the Hulk was strong. We had a guy who could fly, the Human Torch. We had the Invisible Girl. We had everybody could do everything. So I've told this story so often that for all I know, it might even be true, because I really don't remember exactly, but I think I was watching a fly walking on a wall, and I said, gee, wouldn't it be cool if I had a hero who could stick to walls like an insect? But I think I'm lying. I probably didn't say, wouldn't it be cool, because I don't think the word cool was in usage. I probably said, wouldn't it be groovy? I want to be nothing but totally accurate here. At any rate, I thought, I'll get a guy who's like an insect. So I figured, okay, what kind? What'll I call him? Insect Man? That didn't sound dramatic. Mosquito Man? I went down the list. When I got to Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Oh, that sounded dramatic. So I figured I'd call him that, and then we had him shoot webs. That was great. And again, I tried to keep it realistic.
Distinguished competition, that is DC, Marvel versus DC. We cut to Stan Lee talking about the comics war now.
How's your competition been?
Miserable.
Really?
No, they've been trying to catch up. They're doing the best they can, bless their innocent little hearts. And we used to have a lot of fun with them, because when we
like
started...
Superman?
Yeah. When we started out selling them, you said it, I didn't. When we started out selling them, they used to, and I know this because we have friends who work for that company and we get these reports, they'd start having conferences. How come Marvel is selling so much better? And they'd study our books and they'd say, you know, I noticed they use a lot of red on their covers. Maybe that's it. And they'd start putting a lot of red on their covers. The minute we'd learn of that, we would take all the red off our covers. And our book still sold better, and that would drive them crazy. Then they'd say they use a lot of dialogue balloons on the covers, and they'd start doing that. So we would take the dialogue balloons off. And that drove them crazy, and it never occurred to them. It's just that we take the work a little more seriously, and maybe we have a little bit more of a sense of humor, and maybe people don't like things that are stuffy. They like things that are a little bit whimsical or humorous. But don't you go telling that to DC.
Okay.
That's just between us.
Okay.
He retired from Marvel in the 1990s, still being a figurehead and the father of Marvel Comics. Most people don't know the face of DC Comics, but everyone knows the head of Marvel. That was easy. It's Stan the Man Lee. After retirement from Marvel, he would work on independent creations from the company he created, POW Entertainment. Throughout the years, he would make cameos in various movies and TV shows. Most known are his cameos in the MCU films, but he appeared in many things. I did a two-part series, Stanley Appearances and Cameos, so go check that out after this video. Back in 2014, I had the privilege to meet Stan Lee. A week after my birthday, he did tell me happy birthday, which is one of my favorite and most memorable memories that I hold dear. I've talked about how we met and the whole story of that and celebrities I've met. I believe the first part, but we'll cut now and end with the Wizard World panel, Q&A panel with Stan Lee. We'll do the introduction, some good Q&A panel discussions. Then I ask a question, and that's when he tells me happy birthday. So we'll just roll the credits right after that. So like, subscribe, share with a movie friend. Until next time, guys. Enough said.
These artists I was working with, like Kirby and Ditko and Romita and Coleman and the others, they were so good at what they did. I didn't have to give them a whole script. So I would, instead of wasting a day writing a script, I just said, look, here's what the story is. I want Dr. Doom to kidnap Sue Storm and bring her to Latveria, and Reed has to go rescue her, and here's the way they'll beat Dr. Doom. And I'd leave it to Jack, let's say, to draw that story. So he would bring me the penciled artwork, which were always beautiful, and I would put in all the dialogue and the captions. And in that way, I could do 1 or 2 or even 3 books a day. And I was able to keep the schedule going, and that became known as the Marvel Way.
Yes, Superman was quite cold.
What a silly question. Inasmuch, you may not be aware of this, but inasmuch as they are both fictional characters, whoever the writer of the story wants to win.
Good answer.
Will win.
Yeah.
If it's a Marvel writer, I somehow suspect the Hulk will win.
Good answer.
We had that problem years ago. I did a book called Superman and Spider-Man.
Yep.
It was a big, giant-sized comic book. I don't even remember who won or didn't win, but the arguments I had with the people at DC, on the cover of the book, it has to say Superman and Spider-Man. I said, no way, Spider-Man and Superman.
Yeah.
So what we did, we printed a front cover and a back cover, and each one was different. I don't remember who was on the front cover. I think we won. What was your favorite cameo in Marvel? deaf, so I didn't hear them. Then I liked the latest one that I had done. It was where I say you're fired. That's the Captain Earl.
Captain,
Where I say I'm fired. I'm so fired because I see the Captain Earl.
Yeah.
You didn't see that movie, Jamie.
Yes.
I even went to one where I say, can I have my shoe back? Although it wasn't a big mistake, really. Where did you see me in the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, first of all, thank you for coming to Atlanta. I live in Macon, so it's a dream come true. My birthday was Wednesday, and it's the best birthday gift I could give is to come and meet you. So thank you for being here.
His birthday was on Wednesday. The best birthday gift he could have received would be a chance to meet you.
Thank you very much, and happy birthday. Am I pointing in your I can't help where the sound comes from. I look where he's working. Happy birthday.
Thank you. My question is, why do you keep working with new stuff like Mighty 7 and Power Entertainment and cameos? We all eat it up as fans, but what drives you to keep working?
What drives you to keep working?
Read. Then money. I enjoy what I do. I work with friends of mine. I work with artists, writers, and directors, and people who are friends. And you keep saying, boy, maybe we'll sell this one, and maybe they put it on and it'll be a hit. There's nothing more exciting. So I don't even consider it work. This is work. Trying to entertain you. But normally, I mean, I'm playing all day. This isn't work. I love this. But no matter. Leonardo DiCaprio, he lives near me, and I don't have to take care of it. One day I was walking toward my house, and a guy pulls up, as me in a car, and stops, and he says, hey, Stan. And I looked into the car, what did you do? Leonardo! Oh, hi, how are you, Leonardo? He probably went home and told his friends, yeah, sure, Stan. But it's really great. Oh, I'll tell you a funny thing about that. Madonna, you remember her? She used to have a house not far from mine. And every so often, people, this was a few years ago, they would knock on my door and they would say, does Madonna live here? And I'd say, no, she's over there. I used to hope they're knocking on her door and say, hey,